Welcome back to the Sooner post-game show with Jason and Coach Ricks. I'm your host, Jason Watkins. He is Coach Ricks, and we got our special guest. And, you know, he always be chilling with us anyway over here. Eric Cooper. And Oklahoma pulls off a stunner. A stunner. I'll just let you guys go ahead. Coach Ricks, what do you got to say about that game?
Kind of nervous the whole game because I felt like we were gonna fuck it up. Excuse my language.
Fair enough.
I kind of felt like I was texting you. I was like, I don't want to be happy yet because there was a lot of time left. And being a coach, you don't celebrate to 0-0. So once it got down to 2 or 3 minutes, there's no way they're gonna score 21 points in 3 minutes. So I started to celebrate then. So great victory, though, man. Great victory.
Unforeseen. That's the thing. I mean, that's the thing is, and I just said it signing off on the last show. This game redeemed the entire season. You know, this was this game right here. I mean, this was literal. Listen, I'm not going to get into storming the field. Like after this year, I think that go for it. I mean, I mean, I'm not going to yell at you for not. Just 86% of your starting lineup gets hurt at some point in the season. You go storm the damn field. Like we went through it. You know, I was there for the Tennessee game, you know, and just the amount of stick to it that the fans had, the defense had in that game. I mean, there for the very end. This fan base needed this, and this is good. Now we got to go do it again next week. Don't waste it. And but you celebrate tonight. Because all those guys, their last time on the field, there's not a better win that you could have had.
Oh man,
at all as the last game as a senior on your home field. Not a better win. There's you can't convince me there's a better win.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I mean, you know, and in the end, that's the whole deal is that. Look, we said we just talked about this on the other show, but I said it all week. I didn't expect this to happen. You don't expect that. You don't look. This is a team that's probably a playoff team, Alabama. Whether or not they end up getting in now, you may have just ruined it for them, which is great if you did. But I would just say this. You did what you had to do, and this was proving more than anything I want to talk about tonight is this proved, first of all, that Venables and the way that they're recruiting here, a lot of freshmen making contributions. You've got Eli Bowen with the big-time pick. Look, why it took us 12 weeks to discover that X-Rob existed is beyond me, right? So glad we found him in week 12, you know, instead of week 2. You know, those and then to have him waste his red shirt, but had he not done that, you don't win this game either. But in the end, as much as anything, this is about the elite defense that Brent Venables said he was going to build and has built. We can quibble over what you think is elite or not and why you think things happen the way they did. I said it all the way earlier this week. You had to keep Jalen Milroe from killing you with his legs because that's the only way he was going to kill you with his arm. That was the only way. So you say what you want and say what you want about the Ryan Williams touchdown that wasn't. Come on, man. We can say whatever we want about that, but this was domination on the defensive side of the ball. You weren't going to win it either way. That's just it.
Guys, I just brought this up right before we started. Leading tackler on the team had 5 tackles. You had Des Malone, Billy Bowman, and Deshaun McCullough with 5 tackles apiece. They led the team. You had 2 guys with 4, 5 guys with 3. Kip Lewis had 0 tackles.
Wow.
0 tackles.
That's crazy.
Kip Lewis is now
That's wild to me.
Taking 2 passes into the end zone. 2 passes into the end zone and is tied for second place amongst wide receivers with touchdown catches.
Wow.
Deion Burks has 3. Kip Lewis has 2. It's crazy. Like when your offense does not screw yourself and put yourself in horrible positions, things like this can happen.
Well, we need to put Kip Lewis on offense.
Wait, you kind of got a little fuzzy there. What did you say?
Need to
Put Kip Lewis on offense.
Sheesh, man, he had his nose for the end zone, doesn't he? He has a nose for the end zone, doesn't he?
Before this game,
this was a defensive win, though, Coach. I mean, we talked about this a lot, Coach Ricks. Offensively, their game plan still. I mean, look, I think they were smart to go heavy run tonight because I think it's clear that we knew as of a couple of weeks ago that Jackson doesn't really feel it right now. He doesn't feel good throwing the football. Then let him run, I guess. Let him run. But you had to get the running game going, and the main thing was to just try to keep that offense off the field, was it not?
Yeah, very much, because you have no choice. If you don't have confidence in throwing the ball, you're pretty much making yourself one-dimensional. Nothing Alabama did that made you one-dimensional, but a few play action passes here, few wrinkles here and there, you just kept them off guard. But to run 50 times, they ran the ball 50 times tonight, and it took all 50
all year.
but when was the last time OU ran 50 times in one game?
Yeah, no, it's
been a minute.
In the 80s. In the 80s,
I would say maybe the Pirine Kansas game, or maybe one of the games with Mixon and Pirine, because those guys, those guys could go 21-29 pretty easily. But the point is, it's been a long time. Joe Mixon's on his second team in the NFL, and Samaje Perine is a third down pass catching back for Denver Broncos. So who had that on their bingo card when he was here?
Well, Jason, the one thing that we said about Xavier Robinson last week, if he was going to burn his red shirt, you have to give him at least 20 carries. Well, he had 18 tonight.
Damn them.
5.9 a carry.
Yep.
Hey, look, man, and you haven't sniffed that all year.
No.
Running the football.
But what other defense have you played that had that let's just keep it real. What other defense in the SEC have they played that is similar to what Alabama has, talent-wise?
I mean,
South Carolina?
Oh, yeah.
We looked at the stats.
There's a few, right?
Yeah, we looked at the stats. The Tennessee, Ole Miss, South Carolina, and I'm leaving off somebody, Texas, we're all in the top 15 as far as like defensive efficiency and stopping the run. The two worst teams that we're going to play all year in the SEC as far as stopping the run were Alabama and LSU. And when I was talking on our live on Wednesday night, I'm not going to say that I said we were going to win, because I said we're going to lose this game. I went on Alabama shows and I said, yeah, don't expect, us to win this game or us to even think that there's a chance. But I did say this is we were finding something in the running game with Ole Miss, with Maine, and with Missouri. We were finding something in the running game. And now we were going against the worst rushing defense that we'd faced up to that point in conference. And I said, so if OU were to do this, and I'll have to go back and watch the show. I don't usually like to go do that. Jay wants me to always watch the shows, but I don't like looking at myself in the mirror, much less, when I sit down on the tape. But I think I said something to the effect of, like, if OU can run around 250 yards, you give yourself a shot. Well, they ran for 257. And Jalen Milroe had 7 yards rushing. So, again, if you tell me that Jackson Arnold was going to not only outrush Jalen Milroe, but absolutely put him to shame in this game, I would have laughed at you. I would have laughed in your face. I would have said, there's zero chance in hell. Now, did I expect Jackson Arnold to have maybe 40 yards rushing? Sure, I did. But this offense, I mean, they came and they said, you know what? And I think I said in the last show, JoJo Finley's an air raid guy. And he said, let's throw it 11 times and let's run it 50. And guys,
that's wild stuff.
This game could have I would have been happy with 4-3. I'm ecstatic with 24-3, but let's not get it twisted. Like, this team had a shot at 40 points tonight.
Oh yeah.
Against Alabama.
Yeah.
40 points. That's only 16 more than we got. But I mean, like, still, like, that's not even that's like insanity.
Well, they made it known that they were going to run the ball. They were not going to throw the ball. They were not going to do anything to try to move the ball down the field through the air. And if they can't stop to run, why would you even give them that opportunity to do that? Just run the ball. But I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Before this game, I was saying to myself, we got to try the best win or the best team that we can beat would be LSU.
Yeah.
Never did I think that we would just come in here
Facts.
and beat Alabama. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm not gonna try to sit here and sell you something that's not true. I just knew that LSU might be the one team that we could beat to become bowl eligible.
Yeah. So, welcome into the show, Bishop Frank. Let me read this
Bishop
real quick.
Hey, what's going on, you guys?
For my guy, the best stat of the night for me, BV is 1-0 and 1-0 versus DeBoer. Sark's 0-2. That's a fact. That's a factual statement. Thank you for the super chat, sir. Yeah, Milroe had -6 rushing yards at the half. I think the last I heard, he had I don't think he had any to end it, right? By the time it was all over with. That's the biggest thing. They had 130 total yards, right?
They had
7. No, it's 234.
Yeah.
Okay.
164 yards passing,
64,
and 70 yards rushing.
That's right. That's right.
When was the last time Alabama ever had 70 yards?
Bro. And that's and that's the one thing that they have been better offensively. But I think that it was the same thing that what I said. And Bishop Frank, I want to toss this to you with this. We talked about how you have to make Milroe beat you the way he doesn't want to beat you. Throwing the football. I think that they tried to turn this kid into something he's not. Because he's not a pure passer. He's not a pure passer, and they wanted to make him into a pure passer. It feels like it's not Michael Penix, and that hurt him tonight. They should have found a way to keep running that football, especially early.
Facts, no doubt. They went away from their game plan, and they started to panic because they got in quicksand, and we didn't. So that what changed the game.
Yeah. And Jason, I'll add in here. I said it on the last show. I think that there's one big reason why they didn't want Jalen Milroe taking up the gut anymore, and it's Danny Stutzman. Danny Stutzman put 3 hellish licks on Jalen Milroe, and each time that he did, Jalen Milroe got up a little bit slower. The tinfoil hat, I love it.
Come on, Dorothy.
Wow.
The 10 man.
That's so I'll get. I'm trying to see if it'll get better internet reception.
That's freaking hilarious. I love it. I love it. Holy shit.
Legend, if I took a picture of you right now, I could put it on Twitter and have a hell of a poll on how many beers you've had, knowing you probably had 0.
I've had 0, but Coop, if you want to take a screenshot, you go for it, brother.
Topher or Lemon, one of you guys, you know what to do.
I've never seen
Handle this.
A white chocolate kiss. A white chocolate kiss.
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
You look like you got out of the home, and folks are looking for you right now.
They are looking for him right now.
Yeah. The science lab is missing their science project right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Hey, just tell us, how do you feel about tonight, man? This is a big win for Oklahoma to get bowl eligible, and something we didn't say. 26 years straight now, bowl eligibility.
Yeah,
that's second in the country right now, as far as
never doubted it. Yeah. Never doubted it.
I did doubt it. I'll admit that. What you were just saying a few minutes ago, I think we've kind of all said this a little bit, but I said on Coach Smook's show yesterday morning that, look, don't expect me to sit here and give you a ton of reasons why Oklahoma can win this game, because I don't have many. I said you have to go out there and do it defensively, and that's really what they did. Talk to us, Mike.
If y'all would have told me, at 9 o'clock this morning that OU was going to hold Alabama to 3 points,
right,
and our defense was going to shut down Jalen Milroe, I would have looked at you and I'd have said, "What are you smoking?" But aside of that,
everything, Mike. The answer would have been everything.
Yeah.
but as the game went on, and they kept punching Jay, and me and Jason said this on this show: if OU had any chance to win this game, you had to make Jalen Milroe one-dimensional. They did. Now they only sacked him one time, but if you look at the defense, how many times they was in his back pocket the whole game?
Like,
I mean,
the R. Mason Thomas drill when caused an interception. There were several times that Trace Ford, who was in there, and Caden Woolard was in there several times. They missed a couple of sacks that made him get out and run around. And listen, people were sending me photos of Jalen Milroe rocking around before. It's like Braden Willis, but more athletic. I mean, that's a big dude too.
And I get there again, Coop. This win, I like to go back in history. This win right here reminds me 1998, John Blake, OU beating Texas. We didn't stand a Chinaman's chance of hell of winning that game. Same of today. And we go out and not only, and you're right, Coop, we left points on the field. This game could have been gone by at least starting out the third quarter.
Oh yeah.
Had not Fire Sharp, I'm not going to say.
I texted somebody at one point and I said, this game could be 21-3 right now. And they said it could be 21-0.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
could have been.
This is crazy. Yeah. We thought, listen, guys, we thought this was going to be the game that Alabama was just going to be able to sit out there, continue to press on us, and then the defense finally was going to be like, F it. We're over this.
Yeah.
The defense not only gave it an extra gear tonight. Can you guys name just going back in memory? This is the best defensive performance since we played Arkansas in the Cotton Bowl in 2002 when we held them like 70 yards total.
Facts.
I'll agree with that. Straight up.
And I think that this was obviously this is a better team.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the best defensive standing showing. Then I don't remember something comparable.
Me either.
There's
really big salute to Allie.
Yeah, Zach Allie. God.
Yeah. Allie, BV, all of, the defensive staff put together a game plan. Yes, you got 2 weeks to do it. You know what? Whatever. You would have figured it 2 months to do it. If you have Lincoln, you could have had 2 months and wouldn't have won this damn game like this. There's no way you're going to do it because the only way to do it is to actually go out there and play the exact way that they did, right?
And this is another reason why we won today.
Your lucky dirty jersey.
Yep. But you know whose number that is, don't you?
Salmons.
Mike, yeah. So, Mike, I'm going with you. Like, I literally, at some point in the third quarter, was like, I got to get up and pee. And
hey, don't feel bad. I think I know what you're going at because I was the same way. Yeah, I didn't want to move,
bro. I wanted another drink, and I was like, I haven't had a drink in a few. Like, I literally just sat there, and I didn't want to do anything. My son had to go to bed. I put him to bed at halftime, and so I started halftime about 10-15 minutes behind. My phone just going, and I was like, okay, we either gave it back up or something very good is happening. And I was just trying my best. And listen, I mean, I think it was finally about 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter when I was like, we're going to win this game.
Yeah. Wild stuff, man.
Yeah, my 1A and 1B tonight, Eli Bowen and Kip Lewis.
Kip Lewis, one tackle or zero tackles.
What he did, bro. Rob, bro. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah, listen.
I was just doing the pick six, okay? I'm a defense guy. You know that.
The Kip six. So get it right. At least get that right. It's the Kip six.
Okay, I just took my aluminum foil hat off. Okay, I'm not thinking right.
If you guys don't,
fair enough.
if you don't know, there's people in the chat telling me that I actually fell asleep again because that's what happened in the Auburn game. Fell asleep at halftime and I woke up at the game was over.
Yeah.
My wife actually was like, "They're winning and you're awake," and I was like, "Stop it." So I mean, it's now become a thing. I guess I got to pass out at halftime. But no, I mean, listen, guys, it's. I mean, for anybody who thinks that Brent Venables is not a good coach, like,
come on.
You need to slap yourself.
just stop, because there's nothing. I mean, give him the touchdown, like give him. So then you say like 24-10.
Yeah.
Again, guys, if I would have said we win the game, you don't care what the score is. You have zero shits about what the score is. Nobody in here would have been unhappy with 4-3, 14-10, nothing, because we did not see it from the offense. And I just echo it. I say it again, man. Congratulations, Joe John Finley. I know that took everything. He went away against anything in his capabilities to call the game like he did. And it looked like old Riley Leonard Duke game. I think I saw a lot of Kevin John in this game.
No, you're not. And Kyle, I don't think that there's anybody that's trying to say that here at this moment. What we're saying is that this win has been gotten the exact way that the only way that they could win was to take the air out of the football. Because and let's not get it twisted. Jackson doesn't want to throw it. He don't want to throw it.
Oh shit, no.
He's hesitant. He doesn't want to do it. And is it sustainable? Of course not. But you don't want it to be. It's not what you needed to get bowl eligible. You needed to find the one way that you could win. We've talked about it all week. You had to keep them off the field, because look, whether or not that touchdown happens, that was a throw it up on 4th down and pray. And it landed. I mean, you had to expect him to hit some plays like that. You had to expect that.
That was a great catch, man. That's all that was.
I'll say that guy is just
Ryan Williams is a bad dude.
He is a dude.
I mean, somebody needs to ask him what would it take to get him here to Oklahoma, and then just relay it to me and let me do some work, because I love to have that guy on campus. I mean, that guy literally, comparable. Like,
here we are. We're doing the tampering for OU. Continue.
Hey, listen, I will.
I get what Cooper's saying. Cooper's saying
he looks like CeeDee Lamb as a junior.
Hey, he's that receiver that is not a 50-50 ball. He's gonna go get it.
Yeah, it's an
anywhere near him.
It's an 80-20 ball, and the guy's body control. I would have to say body control.
He was all over him. He was all over him.
That was the best defensive play. That was great defense. That was great defense.
80-20. And I mean, how does he get that? Even though he caught it, who else gets the foot down?
No, I mean, it's
exactly.
I just say this is that dude's body control looks like OBJ, like early in his career. I don't know how. I mean, I'll have to think about it, but body control wise, from a wide receiver, like he did that spin move where he stepped out of bounds. He did the same damn thing. Now the difference was we got saved because he stepped out of bounds. But what was it, Georgia? He had the same damn play where they threw it up on the sideline, and two guys just looked like absolute children chasing an adult, and it was funny because I was like, I was like, there's no way in hell that we're going to let that happen to us, and then it happens, and you're like, how does he do this? Because this isn't. Listen, Georgia's defense not as good as it has been, but those guys aren't a couple of transfers in from Kent State. Those are probably 4 or 5 star defensive backs, and everybody out there that we have is really good too. So I mean, that guy's phenomenal. And he's 17 on the guys.
But I mean, in the end, though, that's the only offense they could muster. Literally, was that kind of stuff. They weren't doing anything. And for you to be able to stop. Knowing that, they knew that they didn't have to go out there and put up 50. They needed to go put out what we put up, 24. That's it. 24 is going to be out of reach if you go out there and get it done and just get him moving, running the ball a little bit.
Yeah.
That's all. I
But,
mean,
Jason, I go back to it, man. Danny hurt him. Danny hurt him.
That first
And
hit.
it shook everything about who he was.
think about that last run right before the half. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, like, those guys who were getting in, there were several times that he got the ball off and got drilled right after. And it was hell for him. And so, I mean, I got to say this is, we knew that the Parker Brailsford was going to fix that offensive line from the issues that they had with the snaps. But still at the same time, I mean, when he quit being able to run and he didn't want to go do that anymore, they went a lot more heavy on the running backs.
Yeah.
And they were bringing those guys in. And it looked like he couldn't get in the rhythm that he's used to because he wasn't out running, because that's what he needs. Is he needs some of those runs. The games where he has really, really balled out, he gets off some of these big runs, and then you get somebody peeking and just taking their eye away for a second. That wasn't there. It wasn't there for him. And by God, I promise you, every single time that he was getting hit, he didn't want to do it anymore. So even when he had the opportunity to stand up there and actually scramble out, he didn't want to do it. Every single play. When you guys go back and watch the replay, even when he is running away, there is somebody steps behind him.
Yeah.
And it was almost every time. And so it's like with him, he just was like, okay, so if I try to slow down, I got somebody in the rear pursuit. I've got somebody staring me down in the face. I've already had the shit knocked out of me 3 or 4 times. He didn't want to play that game anymore.
Coop, to go off what you said, the hit that really scared him when he tried to go up and he spun out and tried to go outside, and Robert Spirit Jennings just ran him down and just hit him.
Yep.
He's used to spinning out and running past guys.
Yeah.
The one thing you cannot do against Oklahoma, you cannot run side to side against Oklahoma. They got too much speed. You can't do that. So
I was trying to tell Smook that yesterday. I was like, that ain't the way to do it. You're not going to be able to run to the edges with these guys. That's the
You're gonna have to block up. You're gonna have to block up the middle, and he's gonna have to get out to where he's taking a safety at an angle, and he doesn't take the big hit. And he could never. After Danny plugged him a couple times, it was done. He didn't want that smoke anymore.
Trace Ford put that extra 260 on him and fell in that dirt. And I mean, Jason sent me a picture tonight, and the look in Milroe's eyes in the camera, it's like a deer in the headlights. He did not look right for some reason. And
because he got popped, man.
He took a lot of hits tonight, man. Nobody's talking about it. He took a lot of hits tonight. And I felt bad for him a little bit. I felt bad for him a little bit. I like, damn, he getting hit. And
you guys
go ahead, Coop.
You got to remember too, it's not just he took a lot of hits tonight. He's taken a lot of hits all season.
Yeah.
But he's been able to swallow them because there's been a lot of success with it. When you're taking those hits and it's not successful, it's a different pill.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it Ben Arbuckle?
We keep hearing it's Ben Arbuckle, but I don't know for sure.
Listen,
I don't know for
guys,
sure.
I don't think that decision's made.
No.
I've talked to Matt. Matt has shared a lot. Matt Blackwell, he's shared a lot with me. He's very, very confident, and he's checked with a lot of people. Arbuckle is a very, very strong contender and can end up being it. But I've also heard that there's interviews lined up between tomorrow and Saturday of this coming week. And so
make no mistake, right? A win like this lets people know that, hey, you know what? That defense makes it easy on me.
Yeah.
Doesn't it, Coop? I mean, I don't even want to cut you off.
Facts.
Where's the bar?
Yeah.
Yeah. You get a bunch of healthy dudes back, a bunch of more snaps back. You've got the donors willing to spend bukus of money in the transfer portal.
Right.
You've got pipelines being opened up with certain people who manage folks. Guys, listen, I would just say this is, if you went in going into this week, it was almost if OU goes out and gets embarrassed, Brent Venables could lose his job. If OU gets out and gets embarrassed, you don't have any idea where are we going from this point. Now you just watch this and you go, that's what our defense is. And our defense has a chance maybe to be better next year. I know we lose Danny, we lose Ethan. I think we need to go for an edge rusher. But with Kobe and with the Crimson Missile and Kobe and Kip Lewis back again, guys, we've got a pretty strong, returning defense too. So it's going to be the same.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Andrew the GOAT.
Who
If
the
you
hell-
think Alabama is still a better team than Oklahoma, put down in the freaking chat why you think they are, asshole.
Well, I want to, and not even that. Why are you going to call them a trash team?
Yeah, why you calling us a trash team when we beat the hell out of Alabama?
Look, guys, all season
let 'em
we've
be.
seen
They-
teams.
Documentation beat conversation.
There you go.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot
Andrew,
of teams this year.
Andrew, if a fifth was a fifth, we would all be drunk, okay? And if a frog had a machine gun, a snake wouldn't mess with him. So
Hey,
shut the hell up.
do something with the mods. Y'all are in there. You know what the hell's going on.
I'll just say this, guys. Anybody coming in here is just trying. It's they don't even deserve it. But
Yeah.
I do like to see that USC is currently losing. That's never sad.
Shocker.
I
Big shocker.
I want them to see a lot of success before they play us in the bowl game.
Mhm.
I want to say one thing. The Venables family stand 10 toes down through everything.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, this victory was mainly for him. I've
Yeah.
never
Yeah, this
seen
was for DV.
these guys play like this. I mean, shit. I mean, just be realistic. When was the last team that I thought to hold Alabama like this and beat them down like this was BV's old team, Clemson.
Yeah, that was the last time that Alabama.
That was the last time
received an ass
Alabama
whooping
got
like
beat
this.
down. Was it 43 to 16 or
I mean,
30?
You look at most of these Alabama losses over the past years. None of these things are by 3 touchdowns. A lot of these losses, I mean, you might get there might be a 10-pointer.
Yeah.
There might be a 10-pointer in there, but most of the time it's like a field goal at the end or by a touchdown. You know, they're throwing a Hail Mary to try to tie it.
Yeah.
Alabama had the longest streak in the SEC history of scoring 10-plus points per game in 182 state games. So we broke that streak too.
Yep.
182 straight games with 10-plus points.
Wow.
Man, 182 straight. That's a lot. It goes back past what 2000, doesn't it?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Has to.
Insanity.
Has to.
I would say, yeah, I don't know. Listen, it's we didn't think that the offense could do its part, and that's the story of the game. The defense did what we thought the defense had the capabilities of doing. Defense definitely won this game, Jason. I'm with you 100% of the 100% of the way. When the defense, somebody, I think it might have been George Stoya, or somebody had tweeted around early in the second quarter that the body language of the Alabama players was scary. Now, if that's the case, that kind of bothers me. Listen, guys, Nick Saban had an effect, and you didn't want to be that team. You didn't want to be that team that let down that entire legacy. And now you've got a new guy. Guys are showing up late to meetings. Guys aren't showing up to meetings. Guys are coming out here, you know. And I'm not throwing everybody in, but I'm just saying that there's a lot of guys who would shut up for Nick Saban. And I don't think they're doing it for DeBoer. And so
I don't know that I'm ready to just throw him under the bus too far yet. I mean, it's not the culture that he built. He's just having to deal with it, right? There was stuff going on before Coop. We've seen it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's always been stuff going on.
Yeah.
I do say this is we said it at the beginning of the season, and nobody wanted to have that conversation. Is because I think that I remember talking with a couple of Coach I and a couple of guys with you before the season started. I thought that there was really a lot that nobody was paying attention to with the lack of returning production and the completely different style of quarterback between Penix and Jalen Milroe.
Yeah.
And good offensive coordinators will merge what they want to do with what the strengths of their quarterbacks can do. And somehow Oklahoma knew that if you take Jalen Milroe out of a comfort and a rhythm, they were saying it on the broadcast early, if you take him out of that, he's going to shell up. And that's what we saw. And
You know what? Oh, go ahead, Keith. I'm sorry.
last thing,
Hey,
I'll let you go after this.
Belt to ass, let's go bowling. Right on.
Guys,
That was important. The bowling part is the
Facts.
important part to me.
how many of you guys were excessively surprised at how dominant our defensive edges were?
God, I really wasn't surprised because of the defensive edges we have, but man, I didn't know they was going to play like this. Ethan Downs had him a hell of a game.
Ethan Downs did, or Mason Thomas had.
Or
Caden
Mason
Woolard-
Thomas.
Caden Woolard was, if you put like 5 or 6 different times together, he's about half a second short from taking him Milrow out. Milrow would spin around and he would find somebody right out in front of him. And it would be, listen, like I said, every single person that hit Milrow tonight made their presence known. Ethan Downs treated Jalen Milrow like he treated Quinn Ewers.
Yeah.
And that was the craziest part too, is I kept thinking about it. It was like, man, I just keep going back to that play right before the half. He got the first down. They needed that first down, but they still didn't go down there and score. But as soon as he crossed over that line and he saw them coming at him, he went straight down to the ground.
Yep.
Straight to the ground. And you haven't seen that out of Jalen Milrow. You haven't. And he did not want, I mean, look, man, you got to hit quarterbacks like that. That's one thing that you have to do is you got to make them not want to run the ball. You got to make them
no will to live.
Yep, that's right. So, I mean, it is what it is. And I mean, in the end, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that means that, you know, you just won the natty because you didn't.
No.
But you showed that what you could do on this defensive side of the ball when you've had to turn people over all year to even get anything because our offense has just been non-existent. Just been completely non-existent.
Hey,
you know?
and hey, do not get it twisted either. Eli Bowen making that interception that he did on that little tunnel screen pass,
Huge.
like now he doesn't feel comfortable even throwing short little passes like that.
That's right.
He didn't want to run the ball. He didn't want to throw the short passes, and then he didn't have time to drop back and throw it deep.
No.
So what the hell do you do?
Yeah,
He couldn't do nothing, man. He couldn't do nothing.
And you know, look back here again because I want to make sure. But what do we have? 1 or 2 sacks?
I think it was just one, wasn't it?
yeah, we only had 1 sack.
Yeah,
But we
just
got a
one.
lot of
9
pressures on him. Just 1 sack.
9 tackles for loss. Again, Kip Lewis 0 tackles all night long. Yeah, Apache, you nailed it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because if you look at the hit, he stopped. He didn't go forward. He didn't go back. He's just like hitting a wall. And I don't think he expected that.
And I promise you this: Jalen Milrow was the 3rd highest odds for the Heisman.
Yeah.
That's gone. I mean, that's gone now. But what I do think is, guys, how many NFL scouts were at that game?
There was quite a
A
few.
lot of them.
How many NFL scouts are watching that tape? Now you tell me this: does Danny Stutzman bump up?
He's
What do you think people are
the
going?
best linebacker in the country, guys.
Yeah.
He's the best linebacker in the country.
Facts.
If he's not an All-American by the end of this
He
season,
was already #1 for All-American honors, and he's dude. Come on, man. You can't. There's just no other 2 ways around it.
yeah, he's an
Yeah.
All-American.
If you don't
I
think he
believe
is,
there's.
you a hater.
Yeah.
I believe that he is behind. What was it in the SEC? He was behind tackles only, behind the 2 kids from Mississippi State. But now he's up in front of one of them. Well, as soon as the stats update, he was #2 in tackles going into tonight. So I got to think that he's probably still right around there. But
Yeah, probably.
yeah, I mean, you got him right there. Mississippi State, OU, Mississippi State, LSU, Alabama, Arkansas, Alabama, Ole Miss, South Carolina. I mean, the guy has put himself as one of the top players in Oklahoma history. And I talked to his dad a couple weeks ago, and I was like, you know what? I've never bought an OU jersey, not once. Just not that type of guy. So I now have a Stutzman jersey. And I'm gonna get it to his dad and have him sign it. And I've never asked for an autograph in my entire life. That's what I think of Danny Stutzman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well
and I
put.
was just saying that he made. They're saying he just made himself a first rounder officially. Apache's saying. Now that's tough, but honestly, almost no linebackers go in the first round anymore, so I wouldn't go expecting that. What you did tonight was show that he'll be one of the first linebackers taken.
Oh yeah, he will probably be a second round pick, an early
third round, whatever.
Early second round pick. You got to be like Nakobe Dean or one of those Georgia linebackers who are running a 4.4. I mean, Danny's still running a 4.5. Guys, this is a guy who was giggling because he was wondering why BV was so intense on him not lining up in the right position just 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And with what he's done with the NIL and what he's done with, just taking care of the walk-ons, being the heart and the soul of the team. You saw right after they got that last stop, he's down on his knee praying and just taking in the moment.
Facts.
Guys, this is just.
That's a crazy stat right there. Number 9 all time is a linebacker in tackles.
Yeah.
He is
at OU.
Do you put him? All right. So obviously we think Boz probably the standard.
Yes.
You got Rocky, you got Teddy. Is he in the same atmosphere as Rocky and Teddy right now?
Absolutely.
If you
I'd
ask
go out
them,
on,
they would say so.
I'd go out on that cliff.
I don't know that I put him on Teddy's level. Well, yeah. I mean, to have over 100 tackles in 3 straight years, even with the injuries that he went through, kind of you do have to. I think you do.
And on top of that, it's not like
in his game from year 1 to now, right?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this:
his game. He had to change his game.
Do you think he's a lock for the Buckus Award?
I mean, he should be, but that he should have been last.
I think that game tonight, even though he had 4 tackles, I think that just how they happened and the highlight film that you have in there, Neilio, Dante Jones,
Donnie
Jones. Well of information over here, Neilio, man, love it. Rocky won in that, but hey, Satterfield, you can't do that, man. Can't do that. This is not. This is a team game. This is a team game.
But listen,
people that do all
Rocky,
that.
Rocky and Teddy. I guess like right behind him would be maybe a Curtis Lofton, Rufus Alexander. He's in those names territory now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just I guess I'm let down that there's not.
I think everybody's. Go ahead.
With Rufus, you could chant "Roo," but like Danny didn't have like a chantable name. And I think that if he did have a chantable name, he'd probably be even higher.
Stutzman's Army, dude. Where's the Stutzman's Army?
So I will say this: is he the most beloved Sooner since Baker?
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
I
think so.
And guess what? Now here we go. Here's where I was building up. He's not the best linebacker on our team.
Nope.
And that's going to be a debatable thing about who's the best linebacker on the team. You think is it Kip or is it Sammy O? Is it coming up? I mean, next year I would say that, but I think he's still the best linebacker. I think Kip is right there with him, though, dude.
Oh yeah, Kip will take his spot next year. Once it kind of was like when Rocky finally passed, and went on to the NFL. Teddy got his, solitary year. And he handed it over to Rufus and all the other,
I was wondering if somebody was going to mention my favorite linebacker in OU history, Rod Schultz, the Spyro, Oklahoma headhunter.
That's kinfolk. That's family.
That's your kinfolk, Coach Ricks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, Oklahoma has a hell of a tradition in linebackers, and
we do.
Really, I mean, he's the best one since. Yeah, I mean, Lofton. Before Lofton, maybe since before Lofton was Rufus the last big one. Jordan Evans was pretty big. Jordan Evans came in with a lot of like clutch moments, and he played. He had himself a few minutes in the NFL too.
Man, Austin Box was in it. Man, if he'd have been
on the way,
he was well on his way to being a great linebacker.
And that's the thing about a lot of the linebacker guys that we had is a lot of those guys were nobodies for 2 to 3 years, and they came out with a final year or two, like Ryan Reynolds.
We're just talking middle linebackers, then, right? We're not talking linebackers because
Lewis.
Right.
I think that if he's not tied up there with Rocky and Teddy, I mean, he is at the top of the next tier.
Eric Stryker, guys like that.
Stryker was
he was more of an end
safety
though.
Side linebacker.
He's outside linebacker, but yeah, I know. But he wasn't that tall, gonna make sure you. I mean, he always got in there though.
You got guys like him, and Ronell Lewis was another big guy that was a big pass rush guy, and man, Chris Wilson. I like that one. Torrance was a bulldog. I mean, you had somebody else. We've had just a hell of a linebacker crew, and so for Danny,
talking. But if we're talking linebackers, yeah, it's got to be Teddy. And maybe he's in the next level down if you want to do that. Look, I think it's hard to do it when they're still there. You don't appreciate them as much when they're still there either.
Yeah, Kenneth Murray. Kenneth Murray was another big one. So Kenneth Murray, Lewis Baker. Lewis Baker was nowhere on the same atmosphere, as those guys. I mean, but Danny's right there with a bunch of those guys, and you have Billy that goes with them. I think we all forget about Billy.
And Billy made some big plays tonight too. Billy made some big plays tonight. He makes plays that. See, last year it was a stat stuffer last year for him, and he's picked up some. He's gotten some turnovers this year too. But listen, this guy makes the right play. He goes and sticks his head in there into places that little guys like him shouldn't be doing that.
I'm still trying to figure out one thing. It was early, I think, before halftime. Why did that Alabama player have 2 mouthpieces hanging off his face mask? Does he got 2 mouths, or
I'm trying? Danny was coming.
I don't know. I don't know what that was about. I didn't. Which one was it? That was that? It was one of the receivers, wasn't it?
Yeah, number 2.
Oh,
is that That's Ryan Williams.
I didn't notice. I think Ryan Williams. He must have taken the other one off at some point.
Yeah,
he's like a blocking mouthpiece and a running mouthpiece.
Oh, okay. I thought he had
whatever he wants, man. That guy is unbelievable, though. Nothing bad to say about, and I don't have anything bad to say about this Alabama team, to be quite honest.
No, I don't either.
You did have a tin hat on just a few minutes ago, so maybe fashion's the topic you skip.
Yeah, maybe. Again, and that's just going where I was. I don't think that. I still think Kalen DeBoer is a hell of a coach. I don't think that I don't know that he's necessarily a fit for Alabama, but I know this. He's recruiting. He picked up the recruiting baton and continued with it. Mm-hmm. I think they're very good on defense too. Look, before they finally got that touchdown before the end of the half, they'd been inside the red zone 5 times and had 3 points to show for it.
Yeah.
Had it not been for, getting the big play that you got there at the end of the first half, you're in trouble.
Hey, Oklahoma just got the team helmet sticker.
From who?
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
College football final.
Well, I'll be
also, R. Mason Thomas is now top 5 in the SEC in sacks. He's up to 7. You got two cats at Ole Miss. Yeah, so
I believe he will.
Yeah, you got to think that R. Mason probably comes back. You want him to throw in some more film. I think people, listen. They're gonna with NIL.
They're gonna start paying some boys. You should know that.
But hey, I will just say this. I will say this, Jason, is watching Danny and Billy and Ethan come back. That does something. Now, if he needs to go do the money thing. I think NIL, you can give them some money. From what I understand, the donors are, and after tonight, I promise you the donors' pockets are a little bit looser than even they were prior to this, because that's now what you're capable of. You know that's what you're capable of. You not only beat Alabama tonight, you excessively handled Alabama tonight.
Yeah.
And you're going to want to stay in front of them.
Yeah.
You're going to want to stay. I mean, you're going to want to stay out in front of these teams, because our Ole Miss donors going to pony up for dollars like they did this past year. Now,
Nope. You can bet your ass they're not now.
After that loss
Can
today, they're not.
Look, and how do you not send? I was screaming at the TV like, send in the lefty.
Mm-hmm.
When they called that second interception, I mean, he threw them all in a row too. And you're like, bro, I would not if I'm. How does Lane put him back in? I'd have been like, sit your ass down over there.
Well, you see what Lane did, right? He was blaming the receiver.
Mm-hmm.
My
He was
God,
blaming the receiver.
I didn't see that.
Not being in the,
Wow.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was
Wow.
blaming the receiver not being in the right spot.
Lane was shook. Lane had the look of
Yep.
a guy who got visited by Fat Tony in the tunnel on the way out of the deal, and it said,
No doubt. And
"My
you
boss
know,
wants to talk to you."
that's a trip too, because losing to Billy like that, and everybody had him taking Billy's job earlier this year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? That's another thing, guys. And I do want to say this. That's another area why this win means so much for this program, is because when Florida went out and did that, Florida was kind of the only other team in the SEC that really was competing with us for the depths that we had found. And so when I saw Florida win, I thought, well, shit, that's bad. That's bad for us. So us doing this tonight, that's big for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, fellas, I'm not bald though, Bagman. Okay, Chris has a bald spot on the top of his head. I don't.
You don't want me pulling this hat off because I'll blind you.
Yeah.
Damn
no
bald
doubt.
on.
Guys, no hair loss here. I am
Damn y'all.
fan-freaking-tastic.
I got my hair, buddy. I have it, it's a little further back than it used to be, but I'm almost 52. So no, I'll be 48 in a month. So there you go.
Yep, I'm almost 60. I have a right to be bald.
Yeah.
Hey, can I ask you guys a question before you leave? I'm gonna ask you a question. Is it safe to say that the longer we have a guy calling plays, that he gets better? So it lets you know that we definitely need an OC that has a feel to call plays in the game.
Yes. And here's what I'll say to this is, guys, we threw for 70 yards today. And there was
team.
We dominated a very good team.
Mm-hmm. A very
you bring an offense.
playoff.
We do not
a year ago, and a team that might still make the playoff this year.
Guys, we do not need the best offensive hire in the country. We need somebody who can come in here and do what they need to do and be able to scheme things to happen.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Lincoln come in, and when he came in, he realized what he had in Samaje and Mixon, and he changed how he did everything to accommodate that. So whether it's Arbuckle or Craddock or Stein or whoever it ends up being, nobody knows who it's going to be at this point. Whoever comes in, listen, if Arbuckle comes, Mateer's probably coming too. And at that point, I wonder if Jackson or Hawkins decides, yeah, I'm cool to stay here. I don't think so. So you're going to have to go back.
I think Hawkins comes back. I know Jackson's not coming back. He ain't coming back. I've been saying that since Tennessee, though. So you guys can pan me all you want to if he stays, but I don't think he's staying. I know Jay does.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know one way or the other. So I just say this is, you put together a functional offense with this defense, and that's what we expected this year. Now, again, 86% of our starting offense has missed more than 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, this is
Yes, sir.
Even Kirk Herbstreit was like, I've never seen something like this on the broadcast. And he was the first one to really draw it out, which really made me happy, because I remember in the Ole Miss game, them saying, how could this be different if their starting wide receiver was on the field? And I was like, bitch, do you know what we have missing?
Yeah.
It was like the replacements on offense. And so you get somebody functional who comes in and takes it and just runs and says, guys, we need 3 touchdowns a game. And we're undefeated on offense. Like, you don't need a ton. So I think that whenever we come in for whoever is coming in for OC, we're going to have to hit the portal. Listen, I don't think that you can rely on what we've seen this year from the offensive linemen and then, toss in a couple freshmen. I don't think that you can run out like that. You got to bring in some dudes who are willing to come in, and maybe you mix in a Fasusi and a Foje and guys like that. But like you got to get some men. You got to get some guys who've been out here for a while. I know there's already another Williams out of TCU offensive lineman that Coach Landers is helping out, I believe. And so you got one right there.
Another 6,
you've
7.
You've got there's a good chance that maybe an Alabama guy who was down to Alabama and OU, Casey Poe, you got a guy like that who might be taking a look. There's going to be a lot of people in the portal, and we're going to be paying. And so that's what the offensive staff can coach is, hey, listen, all we got to go out here and then just be functional on offense, not be an embarrassment. Because we made a bowl game this year with a clown show at offense.
Hold on, Coop. We made the bowl game with a mop, a bucket, a squeegee, a broom, super glue.
Hey, listen. In my pantry right now, I got a little dustbin that the handle broke off, and so it's just the dustbin. So I always got to like kneel down with my old knees and do stuff. And listen, let's not. I can go buy a new dustbin right now and it never even forget about it. Like, guys, you need, if this offense goes out there and you bring in some of these freshmen, you got some health that comes back. Listen, I don't expect Nick Six, Jaden Gibson, Farouk, Andrell, Burks, all those guys. I don't expect all of them to come back to this team next year.
Yeah, I don't either.
But
I don't either.
But you get 2 or 3 of those guys, and then some increased production, and then maybe a transfer wide receiver. I want to see a wide receiver who is a good slot type of guy, a good middle of the field worker, and somebody who can return punts. I think that's what we need, is because the punt returns that we've had this year have been pretty bad, and Peyton Bowen is really good at that in high school, like very good in that in high school. Very, very good. And so I don't know what it is this year. I just don't think that it looked awful. I mean, it's looked awful all year long at punt return.
Yeah. I agree with that.
But yeah, man. What would you guys give for Jaden Gibson this year?
Oh God,
Gibson would have been great. Right? Yeah. Like, and I think you. If this thing that we were, I don't know if you saw that episode of it that me, K. Chris, and Chris Mason did, where it was kind of playing with the monopoly money. If there was an extra 10 to 12 million extra, that's what the difference in the buyout would be for BV, and that's what somebody was talking about. We keep hearing that may not even be a joke. It's real. That that somebody decided, they do want to keep him. They want to keep him around another year, but they take that 10, 12 million extra and go put it on playmakers, guys that are going to make a real impact coming in here. And I think that, we know who those guys are. Look, I would tell you again, I'm going to say this like I said it on that show. I don't care about going and getting offensive linemen in the damn portal anymore, because we see since they started playing the young guys, redshirt freshmen, and then EPL playing tonight, they've been on the offensive line than they have all year. They've got the right guys in there. If Fasusi comes or he doesn't end up coming, they've still got a really, really good class in Afalava and Foji. And, And Hutton apparently decided he wasn't going next week to A&M. Is that correct? I don't know what all that means, but I do know this. It's not about 5 stars, guys. It's just not about 5 stars. It's about guys that want to be here and guys that can get it done. And you've got a 24K class led by Marcus Dent's son as well as EPL. These guys are ready to go right now.
Yep.
And the only reason that Isaiah Autry-Dent isn't a freaking 4 or 5 or a high 4-star is because they stopped going to camps once they decided where he was going to go.
Hey, listen. That guy, Isaiah, is going to be an absolute baller. He is going to be an absolute baller. And I think that we're going to be in one of those situations where, like, we look back in 2 years and we're going to kind of laugh at like what we were going through, like offensive line wise. Isaiah, listen, your daddy played with Steve McNair, Alcorn State.
Yeah.
Your mama played basketball and won a national championship with Pat.
2 national championships with Pat.
You got some genes in you, and he got promoted from. Listen, I'll just say this: Isaiah Autry-Dent. We didn't see him a lot the past 2 games because Spencer Brown wasn't hot garbage. He did okay.
Yeah, that really surprised me too.
I want to see them go and get playmakers though. Instead of these, I mean, look, if you go get another edge guy or 2 or somebody that's going to make a big impact there, we go get somebody that could be a lockdown corner if Gentry continues to not be healthy next year. And I hope Gentry can get healthy because it sucks for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'll say this: when you got Eli Bowen, if you could go get another guy like that, and then with the guys that you already have in the safety room, guys that are coming in, Malik Hawkins is coming next year too. And
listen, that's where I was saying is, listen,
that dude's elite.
Malik is going to be just like Eli.
Yeah.
He's a dog, straight up dog.
And guys, I don't have any inside information on this outside of, well, I guess I got a little bit, but if Gentry comes back to OU next year, I'll be surprised. Yeah. I think he transfers somewhere else. I don't know where.
Like he just needs a change of scenery for himself because he keeps getting hurt,
Yeah.
Sometimes you're just snake bitten.
Well, yeah. And sometimes when you trust folks to take care of you and stuff goes a little sideways, there's a reason for love lost. And that's when I'm going to leave it right now. Please don't press me on it.
Okay.
But
I'm pressing you on it.
here's the thing is I still believe Fasusi, Foje, Afalava, Hutton, Hollenbeck, I believe all those guys stick with Oklahoma. Fasusi was at Texas tonight. That's not a threat. Texas is not a threat. A&M was a threat. A&M finished second in that recruitment, not Texas. And he was texting with Sean Hutton, who was at the OU game, and he said to him, I wish I was there. So it's guys, don't worry about it.
Boomer.
Well, listen, Texas,
go ahead.
Texas threw up a very, very piss poor effort against Arkansas, and then it didn't look great tonight against Kentucky. And everybody's going to blame Quinn Ewer's ankle as bum and everything like that. But guys, I just Texas made it to the playoffs in a very, very, very weak playoff field last year and couldn't get it done. I think they're going to do the same this year. They got the JV schedule, and they're gonna somehow, unless A&M can, I don't know, unless A&M
they pretty much locked up the playoff though, right?
If A&M beats them, they're not a lock because they don't have the strength of schedule. I think that with wait, because they're going to still be in the conference championship game no matter what. Yeah.
Because they've got one. I mean, they've got one loss. Yeah, it's ridiculous that this is what's going on here. By the way, folks, but I would just say this: they made it the way that they wanted it. But I'll tell you this: it's going to end up backfiring on that side of it. in a couple of years, Oklahoma's going to be the battle-tested SEC team.
I think so.
That'll be the new Georgia.
So if Texas loses to A&M, they will be tied with A&M at 5-2 in conference, and I think A&M would have the leg up unless there's multiple 5-2s. I think Tennessee got let back in because now,
I would say
as of right now, it'd be
they're a lock for the playoff, though.
You think so? You think if they got
absolutely, they got them number freaking 2 already, or they had them number 2 this week. They're a lock for the playoff. At worst, they're going to be 10-2. They're going to be 10-2, even though they don't have a quality win. They're still going to put them in there because they love them. The brand.
Don't do it, Jason.
The brand has finally returned. Fuck your brand.
Shout out to Onikuno.
I knew it was coming.
Big salute.
I don't know because Tennessee is 5-2. Georgia's 6-2. A&M's 5-2. I think that if Texas loses to A&M, that puts Georgia at the number 1 spot. And then there's Tennessee, A&M, and Texas all tied. So
but you're probably going to get 5 though now because Indiana should have kicked themselves right out of it today.
I don't think so. I think with 1 loss, they still get in.
You want to talk about Texas got a freaking kindergarten.
One loss.
I don't care.
It's just the 1. It's the 1. And guess what? I think that this year being the first year of this thing. Now, I agree with you. I don't think you award them for having a 100+ total strength of schedule up to this point. Like it's and then did not even like show up at all today.
No.
They were part of that. They were in that game for about 20 minutes.
The real outlaw. Who the hell is the real outlaw?
Big salute, you guys. I'm gonna let y'all go.
Thank you for coming in, Bishop Frank.
Hey,
what do you got?
All I know is the Venables on. They're real peeps.
Yeah, no doubt.
Real peeps.
Yeah.
All right, but
appreciate you coming in, my man. All right, man. Hit you later. Back, Norman. All right, yeah. Look, I think that it's look, you did what you did tonight. It was good, but I think Texas is a lock. Coach, I just said it above. There's no way. They've got them so high, you know what they think about them. I'm not saying they should be, but they're in. If you're telling me the Indiana's is going to be in the playoff, and you're going to tell me that Texas isn't, come on.
I don't know.
Brand wise, there's no way they keep them out. Stop it, Coop. You know better. You're a freaking executive. You're a freaking advertising executive. Tell me I'm wrong.
I don't think. Listen, I don't know like I said, I don't know what the tiebreakers are. If they lose to A&M, it's Georgia, and then whoever wins the tiebreaker of Tennessee, A&M, and Texas. And at that point, I don't know. I don't know what the tiebreakers are, and I'd have to look into it. I probably would know that if our team, could run a high school offense. But
well,
I'm just glad to see that we're probably not going to be number 16 in the SEC power rankings this week.
Who's power rankings? Who's power rankings? Who gives a shit?
Oh, they've had a couple. It was all over Twitter this week. It was the SEC power rankings, and we were literally behind. We were 16. We were dead last.
No,
out last now.
The real.
But again, let's be honest.
Sooner in Texas says facts.
Wow,
I like that. Texas A&M wins it. It creates either a 3-way or a 4-way tie for first, depending on whether Tennessee wins. None of the first tiebreakers would appear to apply, so it goes to strength of schedule. Oh, well, if it goes to strength of schedule, then but okay. But that's just to go to the conference championship game, though. That's just going to the conference championship game. I think that's just Texas is in the playoff, though, guys. They are in it.
Yeah.
Even if they lose.
They're in
it. Listen, I hate it just because I think that How do you feel as a Texas fan going, all right, we have to ride Quinn Ewers through a playoff system? Because I saw people saying, go ice. I mean, I saw a Texas fan.
They don't care.
It was Quinn Ewers was doing something at post-game interview, and a Texas fan had retweeted and said, go ice your ankle, bitch. And, something like that. Like, I think that these Texas fans are already done with them. I saw Ben G in your chat, Jason, talking about like, Sark won't even put in Arch. Like he's riding with Quinn and he can't even stand. And like these Texas fans are over this guy who was supposedly win the Heisman like 3 weeks ago.
Dude, him coming back probably screwed with his NFL career.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I've got Doc Texas from 2 years ago saying Quinn Ewers was supposed to be the top quarterback taken this past draft, and then now he's supposed to be the top. You should get the hell out of here.
You
like we all know.
Arguments that people were literally saying that he was going to go down as the greatest quarterback in Texas history after they won the Natty and back-to-back conference championships and all this shit.
Bro,
in a world where Vince Young exists, are you shitting me?
I'll take Colt McCoy as the best quarterback at Texas. I'll take Vince Young as the second best. And then I'll take
Vince was the best player ever there. Whenever that year was unbelievable.
No, yeah, you're not wrong. But I say Colt McCoy was the best Texas quarterback in our lifetime.
Okay.
What about Major Applewhite?
Major Applewhite's third.
He was pretty damn good.
You know where I put Quinn Ewers?
Ahead of Quinn Ewers. Believe that.
I put Quinn Ewers right above another little buddy called Chris Sims.
Chris Sims. Okay, I was getting ready to say, okay, that name coming. Somebody's gonna say.
Yeah.
I was fixing to say the same thing. Yeah.
Oh no! Hey, you know what? No. Hold on a second. What's his name?
He wasn't good enough.
Tebow Light was better than him. Oh shit! What's his name? Sam Ellinger. Ellinger's above. It goes. Vince Young and Colt McCoy, 1A, 1B. Major Applewhite, Sam Ellinger, Chris Sims, and Quinn Ewers. Pick which one's which.
Where's Sooner Cowboys? He's probably over there screaming with the Sooner Surge guys about how crappy Oklahoma still is.
Yeah, he was on that last one. He said Alabama's hot garbage. Dude, go take your Prozac and calm down. Like
that's what I call that's a pregame Prozac for old Quinn. He doesn't have them.
I was talking about Sooner Cowboys.
I know, but yeah, same thing. That's why I said I was talking about Prozac the other day about that with Quinn. But yes, same with Sooner Cowboys. Drives me nuts.
Listen,
drives me nuts.
We're all watching the same damn thing. Again, 86% of your starting lineup is done before you ever start the season. You just can't. Guys, today was a miracle. I mean, let's just be honest. Like everybody is wondering which Sooner fan ate the dog shit out of the Red Solo Cup, and somebody preemptively did.
But I did sell a soul and more tinfoil.
Somebody sold their soul. Look, they did what they're but you know what? There's a difference. Should they've probably won? Probably not. You know what I mean? And I said it all week. I didn't expect them to win. I'm not going to sit here and act like I predicted anything because I didn't. Mm-hmm. I was on the show yesterday morning saying, I don't expect me to come in here with a bunch of arguments for why Oklahoma is going to win. They're not.
Oh, no.
And the thing is, but I did say this. I said, look, you can make it hard on them. But if you do that, it's going to be because you take that quarterback out of it. You do Jason, not let him get started.
I went on 2 different Alabama podcasts, and they definitely didn't get what they were hoping for. Like, I thought about it. Like, I was like thinking about when Gabe and Teddy bring in the main play-by-play guy on their podcast, and they're like, so talk to me about what you think about this game. Like, well, we just hope to make it out alive. Like, I was like, I wonder how you do that. And so being on the Alabama podcast, I was like, guys, if you expect me to think that, like, I can give you a map of how OU wins, I can't. It's not going to happen. You know, I feel bad for the fan base. I feel bad for the country because this is not one of those games. It's not going to be one of those games. And because, again, it's based off the fact that, like, you have not seen the offense against a competent team be respectful, like worthy of respect.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
when you're talking about like, oh yeah, against Ole Miss at the beginning in the first half, we scored 14 points. That's kind of what we're hanging our hat on right now, as far as like an offense. You're like,
No, yeah, and it like what Hank just said. This is,
Yep.
Oh, you still should have won the Tennessee game. This is what less mistakes looks like. This is what not putting the ball in danger looks like. Correct. No doubt.
Mhm.
I don't disagree with you, Hank. But when did you say that? You said that on that show? Okay, I'll have to go back and look.
I believe him.
No, I'm just busting your chops, anyways. I believed you, but the thing that, but I said it on there too. I said it then. I was like, look, man, do I expect them to win? No. And the truth is, you're not going to win like this long term. You got to be able to put points on the board. Period.
Yeah.
Because the reason they haven't won, and I said it. Look, I said it early in the game. That was like, and I didn't ever feel great about them holding on until it got midway through the fourth.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't know that you can go down there and get an insurance touchdown if you need it. You don't know that with this offense.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Even as well as you ran the run, field goal, even as well as you ran the ball today.
Well, when I did my live, me, you, and Coach and Bishop, or me, you, and Coach, we wasn't chest pumping at halftime. Mm-mm.
No, man,
No.
no. And
I've
look,
seen this
well,
movie
I
before.
still don't think that they. I think that they were smart enough to not put the ball in jeopardy. But I would tell you that, yeah. And Marcus, I sent you a link, but what did I say? The keys for us to win: 1, turnover margin. It's always turnover margin. 2,
Yeah.
rush for 200. 3, time of possession. Yeah, you
Yep.
weren't wrong. But the truth is, you couldn't have expected them to do all those things.
Mm-hmm.
A
That
lot of it
game
has to
played
do
out
with
the way it was
but-
supposed
and
to.
you- Look, here's the thing. They may have looked great if let's say Lincoln was still in an alternate universe. Lincoln never leaves, and they're still awesome offense. Whatever. But let's say you go into this game, and even with a better record, you would have had zero chance of winning this game.
Zero chance in hell.
Doing the way Lincoln does it, you would have.
Yeah.
The fact is, they built. And why you got to keep BV around for a little while, at least, is because they've built the trenches to the point that you can go put together a game plan that'll win. You can take somebody else's offense out of it. Are you okay there,
Uh-huh.
Coop? Are you sleeping, Coop?
Coop.
I was just reading some stats.
Oh,
Here's
I
a good stat for
I
you.
left it out on us and just did a pull of seat.
The 2024 Alabama team is the most talented in the history of the 247 talent composite, with a nation-leading 17 5-stars on the roster.
Wow.
Yeah.
Alabama is now 5-4 in their last 9 games against P4 opponents.
And that's with this year's team, Coop?
Yeah.
Damn.
Alabama, fewest
on your
points since 2004. The last time they didn't score a touchdown was 2011, that LSU 9-6 loss. Oklahoma had 11 players out on their pregame availability report. They lost multiple players mid-game.
And how many 5-stars?
17 5-stars. 17 5-stars on the current roster.
On Alabama's?
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
they've had
thank
the
you.
number one talent roster for a long time, dude. Look at
I
this.
think we have,
Iowa. Why? That's like
I
a
think-
paint drying game.
we have 3. We have 3 5-stars on our roster. Wait, no, hold.
That-
Jackson, Peyton, Tatum, Stone. Am I forgetting somebody? PJ. So 5.
Yeah.
And Tatum might be.
You just gave me some troll material, brother. Because tomorrow night I'm gonna be trolling Sooner Surge hard.
We thought Coop
need
was
to-
Nubrisky there to pull this CPAP deal. I thought he fell asleep just sitting back like that. I was like, shit, I'd do that at my
I was
chair
just-
sometimes, but
Reading stats.
Yeah, I'm still with you. Hey, listen, Vince had one of the best single seasons in the history of college football, if you ask me. Dominance. But I understand where the Colt would have had a national championship had he not got hurt. They beat Alabama that night.
Hey, I just say Vince Young had the most magical season for a quarterback that I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, Hank.
But I think Colt McCoy was the better player for the career because Vince Young had one season. Colt McCoy had.
Well, yeah, the year before. You got to remember the year before Oklahoma beat the shit out of them. Went up to 63 to 10 or something like that.
63-17. Yeah. It was a big. I mean, we also beat Major Applewhite that way. We also beat Chris Sims that way.
Sure.
Vince Young won one game against Oklahoma, I believe, and it was that year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Hank's saying X was probably lower rated than everyone Bama put on the field. I guarantee you he was. I promise you he was.
And the reason I appreciate Coop giving me this troll material, because sooner that podcast, they say we need more 5 stars. Well, with our 5 stars and we played a team with 17 5 stars and we beat them by 21 points. What does that tell you? Stars don't matter.
Stars matter because of NIL.
Yeah, well, I know that, Jason, but
I mean, listen. We've had plenty of 5 stars come through here who ended up being nobody. So I mean, it's the age old adage that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Look, the only reason that they can really say that stars matter is because you have to have that blue chip ratio has got to be over that 60%. Or over 50%, I guess. And there's only 2 teams that were under 60, and that was Clemson the first year that they won it, and last year Michigan. Yeah, but you gonna tell me that the guys that Michigan was recruiting weren't good? Because I'll say you're full of shit.
Coach just texted me. He said his Verizon box is smoking.
Yeah, that's what he just said to me too. Yeah, he said it's on fire. We'll catch him. I mean, we're about to get out of here anyways. It's been going for about an hour and a half here. We went for another hour over on K Chris's show.
Well, I'm glad you brought me on, Jason, because I haven't seen Coop at Coop's age.
Man, I'm telling you.
And I tell you what, my life, I will just say this is, in advertising, this part of the year is crazy because people,
season, huh?
It is. It's like tax season for an accountant. And so, listen, guys, I have averaged about 11 meetings a day for the past 3 or 4 weeks. And James, there's been times, Mike, that you've sent me a text message and I literally pull up my phone at like 10:30 as I lay down in bed. And I'm like, I have 37 missed text messages. And I'm one of those guys that doesn't like numbers with the bubbles. Right. So, I mean, it's been crazy. And I said to Jay the other day, I was like, man, I'm glad that we aren't having a great season because I think that I would be missing it all.
Yeah.
But
Coop, I know if you had time, you'd come on because you and I have always had.
Always does. Yeah. I've been missing on.
Listen, yeah, I mean, I texted Jason tonight and I was like, hey, I'm gonna hop on. Do you want on?
I was like, holy
shit. Jay was at the game, and so he was out wandering around. I know we had a lot of guys in there. And listen, I'll just say this again, for the fan base, this makes this whole season this saves the entire season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this season has been like when you say the words "godforsaken," like most of the time that's just a figure of speech. It has felt that way this year.
Yeah.
And then for, to be down, what was it, 10 players before the game and then leave 3 or 4 people, in the middle. I know, Coach. I really do need a vacation. We just bought the land. So I've been out there, setting up stuff. We're going to be hunting next weekend. So I'll fall asleep. Last year I watched the TCU. Was it TCU Baylor? What was the game-winning field goal? TCU missed it, but it was a timeout, and they kicked the other one, and it ended up going through. Was that last year? Or was that 2 years ago? That was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
See, I don't even know what the hell I'm going on. I need to go to bed.
Jason's muted.
It looks like USC's about to win.
What?
They just stopped.
don't
They
even
just
care
stopped UCLA, but yeah, I don't really care about it either. But if USC wins, though, if USC doesn't win, chances are you're not, because they're going to get the shit kicked out of them by Notre Dame next week.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they wouldn't be able to be in a bowl game. This is bowl eligibility for them.
Oh, bro, you know how even much more that would be great. If UCLA somehow came back and won this game, and USC didn't become bowl eligible.
That would be pretty cool. But yeah, it looks like unless they don't hold on for the next 4 minutes, and they just picked up a first down, it's getting better. It's getting better for them. But yeah, guys, we appreciate everybody coming in, spending time with us. Fun time, man. Fun time for, expectations are not. Shout out to Brent Venables, man. I mean, Julie Venables, everything that they've been going through this year, and nobody really knew about that. I'm really, really, really glad that he was able to go out there, and shout out to the seniors, Billy Bowman, Danny Stutzman, Whoopi, Ethan Downs. Excited for them that they were able to get a win in their last one over Alabama, last time in the stadium after what they've kind of went through, right? Good stuff for me. I'm excited about it. Still got lots of respect for Alabama and everybody else. It just is what it is. I mean, this is Oklahoma. You get an opportunity. You knew they weren't going to lay down, and I did say that in every other stream that I was in. All I know is that there's a pride factor there.
Yeah,
you're playing at home in front of your crowd. They're gonna show up at senior night. Did I expect?
I will say this: I'm blaming Jalen Williams of the Thunder for crowd rush in the field, because he was on the sideline, and I don't know if you guys saw it on the broadcast, but they showed him and a couple people with their legs over and they're like, "Oh, looks like a bunch of fans are ready to storm the field," but it was like people trying to take pictures with Jalen Williams, and so J-Dub definitely caused some chaos. But no, it was crazy. I mean, you got the Oklahoma City Thunder folks in there, you got the Alabama NFL scouts, Tony Romo, that was a big. Guys, that was a big game. And like I said, to the guys on Alabama podcast, like, I'm sorry that we can't, hold up our end of the bargain here on this situation. And so you just forgive us on that. But it's been crazy. I mean, that was a pretty significant win tonight. And we're gonna find looking back at this as, really something that was monumental. I think. Not for this year, but going forward.
Yeah.
Madrano, I kind of know what you're talking about. I've got mixed feelings for the same thing, but let's just say this: he would slither his ass right out of that bowl matchup too if he could.
He would. he would be like, I don't play the SEC. Sorry.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah, he don't want to. Oh man, can you imagine the hell he would take with OU fans in the stadium, like at least half of them?
Oh man, listen, people wouldn't even care if we won or lost. They would just go to harass his ass.
Yeah, they sure would.
Because you know that fan base ain't traveling.
Washington that did it when he was going through the tunnel.
Yeah, their fan base ain't traveling. So wherever bowl play in, it's going to be 75% OU fans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Robert Kenneth, I was there at that game too in 1971.
Chicken, thank you, sir. He said, just proud for the seniors. It will resonate to the future. It was a big win. It was a big win for the program, man. It was a big win for the program. Whether what you expected it, whatever you want to call it, the defense stepped up and did what they were supposed to do, and you got a win there. And now, look, you got an opportunity to put. You're not gonna watch Oklahoma just lay over and die for anybody.
Right.
And that includes next year and the year after that and the year after that. I don't care how the season ends up.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this before you guys get out of here, and this is my 2 cents. What tonight showed me, you get us the right mix with an OC and a quarterback, and next year we will be freaking lethal. It'll, that, because this year, Jason, and you've talked about it, we were a quarterback and an OC away this year from being successful. Yep.
We copied Texas's plan. I think that was the furthest away from Texas's plan. Jason, you're muted again, but I don't know how that was anything near Texas.
How did we
Texas-
copy Texas plan?
Yeah, they went out there and
They
had
just
a
went deep.
shootout last year. What are we talking about?
They just went deep over and over and over again.
Yeah, I don't think it was chicken. I'm not sure that this is what I think happened, but I will say this: that defense did its thing, and handing the ball to X-Rod, he ran the ball well.
Yep.
Yeah.
X-Rod was the X factor.
But JFA has kind of become he's a running back, named quarterback.
Hey guys,
They have
I'm just going to continue to push on this. Ashton Junty for Heisman. I don't care if he's Boise State. Give that guy
you
the
know
damn.
what? We need to have a talk about that, and it's not going to happen tonight because you know what? You got some splaining to do.
I do.
It's Travis Hunter, dude. Come on, stop it.
No. Ashton Junty.
I like Ashton
I
Johnson
don't
too.
care who wins it. The Heisman Trophy's made in Eddie.
The dude is averaging 7.4 yards per carry. He's going to eclipse 2,000. He has 26 touchdowns.
Mm.
They know that tonight they won 17-13. We are going to hand the ball off to this kid, and he's going to run it down your throat. Everybody knows every single time they go to Boise State, you got one guy to stop.
That's
And
true.
they can't do it.
That is true.
Guy had an off
did
off
he
night tonight.
track to break the
Off
record?
night.
Did he stay on
Off
track
night
to break
tonight.
the record?
Yeah,
No.
so 19 carries for 169 yards. It was an off night tonight.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he is then. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Walter Mitty. I haven't heard that
Yeah, but
name.
dude, going up against the Mountain West, you're played the Mountain West. Nobody cares. That's not Heisman.
2,000 yards. Does it
Travis
matter? Does the
Hunter on his team?
does,
What are you kidding?
does that? I mean, does the Heisman Trophy mean anything anymore? And I promise you this: with the antics out there in Colorado, I think there's a lot of people that don't want to see them with any type
They've
of
been
announcement.
quiet. You don't get to go there this time. They've been
Shador,
quiet.
hey dude, Shador pushed an official tonight.
Did he?
Pushed an
Oh, well,
official.
yeah. That won't fly. Why did he push an official? What's up with that?
From what I understand, is a couple plays before he pushed the official, a guy went kind of low on him. I mean, hit him in the shins. Was diving down, hit him in the shins, knocked him out. But yeah, he went. He pushed an official. I mean, just go search for it. I mean, it's not significant push, but you still forearm chivied an official, and it wasn't like you were playing a team with black and white striped jerseys, and you can't really claim that as like, oh,
Yeah.
it's. I mean, I listen. I picked them to lose tonight, and I was right, so I was happy about that.
Well, that might be the hottest team in college football right now, Kansas, for sure.
Dude, Kansas, I heard it nonstop for the past 2 weeks. Kansas is much better than their record. This was guys got really dinged up and were really unhealthy.
Well,
and now they're healthy.
Yeah, and Jalen wasn't playing worth a shit early in the year. Throwing it to the other team, man. That's all he was doing.
Mhm.
I mean, he threw 14 for 21, 189 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, but there's
Devin Neal
Devin Neal.
had 37 carries for 207 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Right.
Jalen Daniels, 6 carries, 72. They ran for 331 on Colorado.
Yeah.
331 yards rushing.
And you know what? That's how you have to beat Colorado right there.
Yeah,
You got
and
to turn it into
Travis
a running game. Same way we were talking about with Oklahoma. You got to turn it into a keep them off the field game, run the shit out of the ball, have a chance.
You know,
Devin Neal
seeing
also
that,
had 4 catches for 80 yards and a touchdown. So he had 4 total touchdowns tonight. Devin Neal.
That's insane.
You know, that-
287 total yards.
that heavy run game we had tonight, that did my heart good because I kind of reminded me of the good old days. I was expecting to see the wishbone.
You saw Jackson Arnold out there, and you thought, man, that looks like Brandon Daniels.
Oh, I tell you what, though, this win made.
I already told you the other day,
this win-
chicken, that was the other Sanders kid.
But this did my heart good tonight.
It's good times, man. It's good stuff. Yeah, we were trying to say goodbye, but it's great stuff. And tell everybody how to find you though, real quick, because you're starting to break up a little bit there. I gotta get get some food.
You can find me at Twitter X at Sooner Legends Podcast at Okie Cowboy 1969, and you can find me right here at YouTube at Sooner Legends Podcast right here. And for $2.99 a month, as little as $2.99 a month, you can become a member of my channel.
Mm-hmm. Do it. Do it. Go do it. Go make sure to do it. We got to get him out to 1,000. You're getting closer, but we got to make sure we get him there. Guys, I appreciate both of you coming in. Coop, let's do this again. Come see me on Tuesday or something if you can. Tuesday night or something.
Yep.
Come on.
Let's do it.
Good seeing you again, Coop.
We got to talk about a lot of stuff
too,
coming up, man. There's a lot of games that happen today, Tuesday night. I'll be back on Monday morning. You guys know that. I'll be here with Mike Boganowski.
Can we just clear one thing up here, Jason?
Yeah.
At the beginning of the year, I was dead right on something, and you were dead wrong. I said OSU had no chance to make the playoffs, and you picked them to win the Big 12.
You're a liar.
And I just want to point out to everybody else. I just want to point out to everybody, you were dead wrong on that.
I was fixing the. You know what, you son of a bitch. I got to get all of y'all. Okay, Chris did it. Your ass did it. Jay did it too. Fuck no. They hadn't even.
I said they were in. I didn't say they were going to make it. I said they were a dark horse. But who would have known that the same damn offensive line that made Ollie Gordon a Heisman favorite just wouldn't know how to block the next year?
Who would have known that Gundy would have, went back to the ranch and didn't make him run the damn football with Ollie Gordon?
Oh man!
And headbutt his cow.
Eight straight losses.
Lies.
Even if they
damn good and well that I've been predicting the downfall of Okie fucking Light for months and years.
Jason, you picked them to win the national championship.
I was a year ahead.
We have it recorded. You picked them to win the national championship. We
all
know this.
Good. I get to start pulling receipts on that shit. And people have been busting my chops all year because of Oklahoma and their fall. I've been right about a lot of shit, like 6-5, 6-6 USC. I said 8-4. They continue to do worse than I even predict. But boy, there's a lot and they were going to freaking win 11 games this year. I'm going to keep talking. All right, guys, we appreciate everybody coming in. Again, if you haven't hit that like button, hit the damn like button. Make sure you find Coop over there at Unfair Sports. Huh?
It's tonight. If it's ever been a night that you like the damn video, like the damn video tonight.
No shit. Yeah. I mean, listen, you could hate it if you're a Bama fan, but we hadn't even had that.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm cool with most of the Bama fans. The AAA fans, cool. I like them. Well, we're all good.
Hey, listen, bro. The Bama fans, they got their own shit to worry about. Because I promise you,
they're pissed off. Oh, I promise
you. They're where we were at after the Tennessee game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, or after
this isn't what we thought it was.
No. I think that this is where we were at after the Texas game. I about lost my shit after the Texas game.
Oh my god!
It was the Texas game was just such a bad game plan, just from every aspect of the game. Like I said, when I'm like 5 minutes into the third quarter,
people to get fired, and I was screaming to fire Seth Luttrell.
Bro, again, I like I said, I think when we all look back on this, we're gonna find out that this was a blessing in disguise when it all comes down to it, because if we would have had a bunch of healthy receivers, Seth Luttrell would be back next year. We would have underperformed this year. And I don't, want anybody to get canned, but I mean, if you make the money that you do and you can't do your job, I mean, to hell with you. Listen, this is a business, and so you just got to look at this whole season. This has been an absolute chaotic college football season.
Yeah. Things happen for a reason, Coop.
Yeah,
they do. But hey, they're back to, hey, look, again, like I said, the more than anything, it's important to get that last 15 practices. You know, getting bowl eligible is an important thing. We talked about that in the first year. Whatever this thing ends up being, whatever the record is, it could have been damn worse. It could have been damn worse. No two ways around it. But it could have been a lot better too if you just had a competent offense. But then again, it's your first year in this league. I still believe, I'll tell you this, as much as it irritates the hell out of me that Texas is going to be in the playoff, because make no mistake, they'll be in the playoff. But I'll just say, I believe that in the end, Oklahoma playing this schedule and going through this year is going to benefit them much more in the long run, because you're about to turn them into a battle-tested, nasty, nasty juggernaut. So here we go.
Yeah.
Chicken?
Yeah.
You got to stop lying about everybody in here.
Jason Chicken is probably several in right now, and
He might be. He's had a long trip this week. He had a long trip this week. Yeah, USC just won the game, I think. Yeah, they did. 19-13.
Unless Lincoln Riley it, they're done.
It could absolutely be then let's throw it out there for the gods. You know, the college football gods got to make that game happen.
We've seen worse.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We sure have.
Crowed? You're getting crowed? What does that mean? Are you saying crowned or crowed or what? What does that mean? All right, guys. Now I'm really going to say goodbye this time. Appreciate everybody coming in. See you all in the next one. Throw them down.
Throw them down.